Folks, I'm headed down to meet my friend James down in, either on the Massachusetts-New Hampshire border. And then we're going to go for a ride. Now, it's supposed to rain like cats and dogs this afternoon, but we'll get a ride in anyway. And then guess what I'm doing, or what we're doing? Yeah, you're not going to believe this. We're going camping, but it's not what you think. Now, I'm shooting with the Get 2 camera today. The Hero 5 Session is in the trunk getting charged, and I honestly don't know how much of a charge I've got on this Get 2. We'll just have to see, because I ran it the other day, and I can't remember if I recharged it, and I didn't check this morning before I left. But we'll find out, and in the meantime, I got another one charging, so worst comes to worst, I'll have that a little bit later in the day. And camping, huh? Woo! Wonder how this is going to be, especially in the rain. But you got to try it. We're going to try it. What are you going to do? We're going to try it. So let's talk moto camping. I watched the video that HDR did recently with Mrs. HDR. They went moto camping. I don't know if that was their first time. I think it might have been. And they had fire pit pizza, which looked pretty good to me. I don't know how they came up with fire pit pizza. Did they cook that on the grill? I'm not really sure. But anyway, it looked like they had a nice time. And honestly, I've been toying with the idea of moto camping for quite some time. I've only camped once when I was riding a motorcycle. And that really, you couldn't really call that motorcycle camping. It was about 5 or 6 couples. Everybody drove, their cars or their vans, all packed with camping gear. And 2 of us followed the convoy up to the place that we picked to camp. And we did camp, and we were on motorcycles. But I really don't. That was more car camping with a couple of motorcycles attending. It wasn't really motorcycle camping. And honestly, the first time, matter of fact, my first motorcycle trip actually was a weekend before I got married. And that was my first motorcycle trip, and I can tell you, my father-in-law was not happy with me. He sat me down and had a talk. I said, well, what's the matter, Bob? He said, you're going on a motorcycle trip the weekend before you get married? I said, yeah, what's the problem? Well, you could get killed. I said, well, I could really get killed anytime I ride my motorcycle or drive my car or anything else. He said, yeah, we have a lot of people invited to this thing. Can't you wait until after the wedding? So I guess no problem getting killed the weekend after the wedding. You just didn't want to get killed the weekend before. But I have to tell you, my wife never said a word other than, yeah, go ahead. What's the big deal? Don't pay any attention to that. So I went. I had a great time. But getting back to the story, I packed stuff to camp with the 3 guys I was meeting from New York and New Jersey. We all packed stuff to camp that night, but unfortunately, one of the guys, Frank, was sick, and we didn't know what was wrong with him. He didn't know he just felt awful. So we went in Northampton, Massachusetts, in the pouring rain. We pulled into a hospital and sat at in the ER for half the day. And when he finally saw a doctor, the doctor wrote him a prescription. We went to the drugstore. He gave the prescription to the pharmacist. The guy came out from behind the counter, walked over to the shelves, and gave him a container of Sudafed. He was furious. He said, I waited in an emergency room for 4 hours for Sudafed? Oh, my God, we laughed. So So anyway, it was raining that night. We spent the day in the emergency room, and that night we just didn't feel like setting up tents. So we stayed in a motel, and in all the trips that we did after that, we never ever packed for camping again. But I've always kind of had it in the back of my mind, and I've talked about to my youngest son Adam about doing a little bit of moto camping, going up north, packing some stuff up, and just finding a camping area or campsite or just boondocking it up there. And he's all for that. So, but I had this opportunity today to go camping with Jim, and I jumped on it. So here's the thing: I've always kind of had it in the back of my head that I'd like to try a little bit of moto camping. But then when the reality of the sweat and the bugs and the setting up after a long day of riding and the tearing down before a long day of riding, I just don't know if I want to begin and end my riding days like that. And but I have to tell you, the Boots and Jeans riders, Rich and Kate, make it look very, very appealing. I know that some of this is just kind of the, what would you call it, the romance of it, loading everything you need on a bike and just heading out, picking a place on the side of the road, setting up a tent. All sounds very romantic, but the reality of it, well, we camped a lot when the kids were young, and I can tell you that tent camping got old pretty quick when they were young, and we ended up getting a pop-up, and that's how we did our camping. So I'm aware of what's involved. I really am, and it's not like it's a breeze. Even when you're in a car and you have a pop-up, there's a lot of work involved, and I'm just thinking about the reality of it. I know a lot of people do it. Don't get me wrong. I know a lot of people do it. I just don't know if I'm up for it. I'm going to do a little camping today. Maybe we'll have a better idea. And we'll see. I don't know. As I said, Boots and Jeans makes it look pretty good. Anyway, that's it for right this second. But for now, over and out.